Hi guys, this is Banjo, and today I'm going to be bringing to you guys a deck profile, but not for Weiss this time, but for Vanguard. So I'm going to be deck profiling my Token Rambu deck. And with that being said, here are the cards I run. So the first card I run is four. Get ready guys, time to butcher names. I run four of Tsurumaru Kinaga. Yeah. So I run four of him. He has the Homer ability, or Homar, whatever you want to call it. In the Japanese one, it was called the MVP ability, which basically is an ability you can activate only once per turn. So there's other cards that have that ability, but I think I believe so. This is the only card I have in this deck that runs that ability. So you can just do it once. But its ability is Soul Blast 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, counter flip 1 damage, which is basically choose 1 face down damage in your damage zone and turn it face up. And then choose a level 3 from your drop zone and add it to your hand. So this can come in handy, especially with later cards I'll show you guys that allow you to discard and draw and stuff. Because if your opponent gets stuck or they play that like Aquafort's game where they like stay at level 2, then you can just play this and just laugh at him because you're just basically plussing more because you're double drive checking and your ability doesn't require it to stride, so you're not a vanilla. Yay! So pretty good. And then it also has the ability during the turn you G stride. So when you stride, you basically soul charge 1 and choose 2 of your units and give them 3k power till the end of the turn. So, since it states that it's a unit, you can give it to your Vanguard because your Vanguard is technically a unit. So you can just give him the boost, or you can give two other things a boost. And giving it a 3k boost is really good since you can get stuff to pretty big numbers in here, allowing you to basically just have big columns and then just attack with your G units and do crazy effects. So, 4 of him, really good. Next card I run 4 of is 4 of Juru Tachi. There you go. 4 these level 3s. Pretty good card. It has the time to butcher it again. Shinken Hitsatsu ability, which is basically Limit Break 3. So its ability activates in the rearguard circle, which is during your turn if you have a grade 4 or greater Vanguard, this card gains 2k power. So, you can put it onto the rearguard circle if you have a bunch of these in your hand. Or if you don't want to G-stride and stuff, or stride, you can just put them on the side. But not only that, but it also has the ability that when you stride a specific card, which I run copies of, basically everything in your hand, or basically I'm going to butcher it again, Torutachi. So whenever you're going to G-stride for Torutachi, if this card is in the Vanguard circle, any card basically in your hand gains plus 2 grades. So you can potentially drop anything level 1 or higher, level 1 and level 2, and fulfill the whole cost for that stride. So that's why I run it, because I guess more stride focused, but you can also play around with stuff if your opponent doesn't want to level up and stuff or go to grade 3. So just 4 of him. See, on to the level 2s. The first card I run is 4. Oh, there it is. 4 of Here we go. We're going to butcher it again. Shinshuyu, or we'll just call him Shi for the time being. But its ability is pretty good. He also has the Limit Break 3 ability, which is Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1. Choose a card from your hand, discard it. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, draw 2 cards. And it also has, and this is a rearguard ability only too. And also rearguard ability it has is if this unit cannot be chosen by the effects of your opponent's card effects. So this card's pretty good. The only thing that sucks is this base 7k attack, but thanks to other cards and stuff, you can make it bigger and stuff and becomes cool. So the really good thing about him though is his attack does not have to hit. You just attack a Vanguard, and as long as you do that, you're basically discarding 1 card to draw 2, which makes your hand really big. For example, if you have this dude as your like G thing and then, as your vanguard, and then you like G stride, you can just give him the boost, and now he's a 10k attacker. So that's really good. And then also since he has the resist ability, I know for sure like if your opponent's like playing like Link Joker or something, and they have like a whole column, and it like locks the whole column, then it won't work. But if they're locking like one thing specifically or trying to retire something in specifically, they can't target this. Like it has to be an effect that does like multiple, not just one. Because if it's just like one thing, you can't target him. But it's pretty good. What's next? We're running. There we go. 4, and time to butcher names again. Izumi Kani Kanesada. Carne asada, there you go. He makes tacos for a living. So, running 4 of this level 2, really good. Same thing, limit break, with the limit break 3 ability. It has the ability where you can soul blast 1. When this unit is boosted, you can pay the cost. If you do until the end of the turn, he gains 3k power. And at the end of the battle of the turn that this unit attacks, choose one of your units with the limit break 3 ability and in the back row and add it to your hand. So really good, just because like you attack, as long as he's boosted, he gains 3k. And like let's say for example you gave him the boost from the other dude, he gains +6 and has this 15 by himself. Or not by himself. Well, he's 15, but obviously you have to boost it by something to get the whole thing to go. But not only that, but you can also bounce stuff with the limit break 3 ability, which is really good because you can bounce back one specific card I'll get into in a bit, and basically just keep comboing it up. So pretty good, especially like the card you add back, you can also use it to guard and stuff, which is really cool. So 4 of him. Next, last level 2 I run. I played 3 of, again we're gonna butcher it, Dodanki Matsukani. So pretty good card. Its ability is if you have 3 or more damage, he gains 3k when you attack a vanguard. So like I said, he'll be at 12, plus if you have the other dude's boost, he'll be at 15 by himself. So he's basically just a beater, just to mow down your opponent's stuff. And it activates both in the vanguard and rearguard circle. So, for example, if you ride him and you have 3 damage, and you'll get the 3k. But 3 of him. On to the level 1s. 4 of this guy. It's really good. Basically, this card is your what is it, like stride enabler, I guess, because it gains +2 level in your hand when you stride, so you can just dump 1 card and stride. But it also has the ability where you can put it into the soul and choose one of your grade 4 or greater units. Well, they're gonna make grade 5, guys, confirmed. And until the end of the turn, that character or that card gains 5k power and the Homer ability. So like I said, the only other Homer in here is the other level 3 dude, but if you stride it won't trigger. But it gets that ability, which is basically Soul Blast 1, and then when this unit attack hits your vanguard, you can pay the cost, and if you do, you countercharge 2. So it does help out if you're running low on counter blasts and you want to flip them over, but for the most part you just basically dump them so you can get the ability of basically riding for free. Well, not for free for 1 card, but whatever. Next card for perfect guards. This one's Kusetsu Samoji. Now the new perfect guards have really cool abilities, but they can only guard the vanguard now. But this dude's ability, like most of the other ones, is if you have a copy of him in the grave, you can basically just, or in the drop zone or whatever, you can unflip a damage. So like if you have, as long as you have 1, like let's say you already perfect guarded the first time, as long as you drop another one, you're basically gonna unflip a free damage. And it's basically a perfect guard. Everybody knows what these are. They stop your opponent's attacks. Good. Next card I run is for this dude, Harikawa Kunihiro. Really good. Counterblast 1, you get a soul charge 1. When he's placed onto the rearguard circle, and you have 3 or more damage, for the rest of the turn he gains 4k power. So that's why I told you this is pretty good, because then you can just, give him 4k, and then if you, like, for example, let's say, you give him the 3k plus the 3k for the boosting thing, so now he's at 15, and then this thing's at 7, and then it gains 4, so now it's at, like, 11. This is, like, a huge-ass column. You can, like, 25s and stuff. And then your triggers and boosts and stuff, and then you become huge. But that's the main purpose of this, especially if you don't have to specifically have this card behind him for this to trigger, because it just states choose one card in your back row and add it back to your hand. But you can if you want. But if not, you can just add him and he can be boosting something else, and you can spam his ability basically. So yeah, for him. Next, I run 3 of this thing, and here's where, like, you can add 3 of anything, or you can change it around. I've been playtesting this. I might add some other card instead of this, but as of right now, it's this. So this card is a Honba Tatshiru, another name butchered. So its second ability, I don't run that card at all, but I just run it for the first ability, which is when this card boosts Vanguard, you can basically Soul Blast 1, and if you do discard it, draw a card, and choose a card from your hand and discard it. So basically, it's really good because you just have the boost, and you don't have to hit or anything, and you get a draw first, then you get a discard. So if you drew something you really don't want, you can just discard it. So, pretty good. It only works behind the Vanguard. So, like, after you have, like, one of these behind it, you can, like, you can discard these for when you have the, what's his face? When you have this guy, since they gain +2 when you ride the Totsu, what's his face? Taru something. Well, but I'll get more into the strides in a bit. But basically, this is all it is. You just leave one behind your Vanguard, and you're continuously drawing and discarding and stuff. Good stuff. Triggers for draw. Trigger him, you draw. For heals, you trigger him, you heal. 4 of this crit, which is just a crit trigger. And 4 of this crit. And this crit actually has an ability, and it's really good. So this card's ability is you can throw this card into the soul. When your Vanguard attacks, if this is at stand, so basically you can't put it behind other stuff, but most of the times I just put it behind the Vanguard since he's attacking per pretty big number anyways. But I just put this behind the Vanguard, so, attack. If he's at stand, you throw this into the soul, draw a card, and then you choose 2 units in the front row and give him 3k power for the turn. So, really good. Like I said, when you have the, where is he? This guy, plus this, like, you're basically giving 6k to 2 things, which makes your units, like, humongous. So, really good. And then my starter, I run the best starter ever. I run, where is he? Hachizuki Kotetsu. The reason I run this starting Vanguard, it does have the Forerunner effect, so whenever you're right on top of it, it goes into the rear guard. Its ability is just you put it into Soul and choose one card from your hand, discard it, and draw a card. The reason I run it, though, is because they don't have... the Token Rambo doesn't really have any, like, oh, let me search for a 3 and stuff. So at level 1, if I see that I have, like, a draw trigger or something in my hand, and I need that 3, I'll just throw it in there to draw. Or, like, at level 2 as well, if I'm missing any number, I'll just throw it in there and see if I get it. That combined with the draw, with the drive check, usually gets me some sort of thing, or some sort of plus. And finally, we're going to go on to the stride. So, I run 4 of Torutachi. Pretty good card. This is, if you have this as your Vanguard, you can drop basically any 1 or higher gets +2. So, +2 level in your hand, so you can basically just call this out with the level 1 or higher. So this thing's ability is, during your turn, all your characters with the level 3, the Limit Break 3 ability, gain 3k power. So you can potentially give like your whole front row like, or it only gives it that ability to the front row. It gives it 3k power. So like, you know, this 3k plus the like if you don't have the what's her face or what's his face, if you don't have this and you have this instead, it still works out because you're basically potentially giving this thing like 6k, and then if you have the climax, not the climax, if you have the crit trigger, now you're going to 9, and then his ability 12, so it becomes huge. So it has that ability. So until the end of the turn, it gives all your limit break 3s in the front row 3k. And if you have this thing in the soul, or in the heart, he gains 5k for the turn. So it does benefit you having that in the soul, because now you're seeing this being at 20k by itself, plus the boost it gains from the Jirotachi basically makes it a 31 attacker. So that whole turn you're trying to just get rid of cards in your opponent's hand. So 3 of him. Next card I run, and I think this is my favorite card, is 4 of Iwatoshi. Really good card. It has the ability it has the ability which is once per turn, so you can only do it once. Counterblast 1 and choose one of these cards from your from your stride zone and put it, or like flip it over, because remember all your strides are face down, so you flip it over. So you can potentially just do this effect twice. But it gains the ability where you can basically attack your whole opponent's front row in one swing, so he's basically a Vermilion. So it's really good because, like, boosting wise, you can get your rear guards up to a pretty high attack power, anywhere from like what is it, 2k or so, or you can get them pretty high. You can get up to like 20k, anywhere from like 20k to like 22k and stuff, 23. So having this attack all your opponent's whole front row and then attacking with your rear guards, your opponent has to take a damage somewhere. And since you got rid of your opponent's rear guards, they have to play more if they have any. You especially want to play him if your opponent has 2 of them. If your opponent has the 2 rear guard circles next to his Vanguard or like they have a card there, you want to go into him because Vermilion them. And it's really good because it causes your opponent to, they have to guard for your rear guards, and then their rear guards are gone, so they have to play more rear guards from their hand if they want to attack, and just keep minusing their hand gradually. And then the final card I run is 1 of, time to butcher it again, Mikazuki Menenshika, the guy from the front of the box. There you go. To level 4, stride, once per turn effect as well. You can counterblast 1 and choose 1 face down card in your G zone and turn it face up, so it can be anything. That's why I run multiple of these too, because you can just basically flip one of these over. So if you do that, this card gains 3k for each face up card in your G zone. So just by doing his effect by himself, like if you call him early, but I never call him early, I always call him out like, this is the finisher, the last card I always call out. He gains 3k for each face-up card, so just by having, if you do call him early, he'll gain 3k. But for the most part, he gets huge. He gains anywhere from like 9k to 12k since I call him out at the end. Then after that, for each 2 face-up card on your G-Zone, you get to, choose one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row and retire it. So, you know, since this counterblasts itself, then if you use this twice, you already have 4 face up. So when you call him, you know, you're killing 2 things. And then if the number of face up cards in your G zone is 2 or more, he gains a crit. So this is basically your finisher. You run him at the end. He's huge. He has a crit. He's wrecking your opponent's rear guard. Hopefully they have less cards in your hand, and you can probably win with this. So he comes out at the end. So that's it for this deck profile. I'll bring you more Vanguard and Weiss and other stuff deck profiles, and that's it for this video. I'll bring you an in-depth video of this too. So with that being said, like and comment and stuff, and have a good day.